Coming up next, we have a remarkable story that tips the scales in the right direction. Listen in as we learn about a school district where music went silent and education suffered. That was before a determined school leader, with the help of VH1 Save the Music, began to make some noise in the educational system. The VH1 Save the Music Foundation is dedicated to restoring instrumental music education in America's public schools, while also boosting awareness about the importance of music as part of each child's complete education. I'm pleased to introduce our next host, singer-songwriter Andy Grammer, and his noteworthy guests. But first, open your eyes and ears and keep your head up to watch a clip from his music video.
But you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. You gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey. I know it's hard to remember sometimes, but you gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey.
Hey, I'm Andy Grammer, and you should keep your head up and keep your mind and ears wide open. I'm here on American Graduate Day to talk about one of my favorite foundations. VH1 Save the Music Foundation helps educators around the country improve the school day and boost the brains of students. Not only is music the bedrock of my career, but it filled my home and was a driving force throughout my high school education. Trumpet, what's up? Band class cleared my head, stimulated my brain, gave me a whole new set of teammates. The stellar trio joining me today to talk music and education are Superintendent, Roanoke City Public Schools, Dr. Rita Bishop, Orchestra Director, Jeff Midkiff, and orchestra member and rising violinist and just all-around stud, Ryan Turpin.
Thank you.
So welcome, guys. Dr. Bishop, you've been honored as the Virginia Superintendent of the Year, which is kind of awesome, and also received the National Administrator Award for Music Education. What was the state of the music programs in the Roanoke School District before VH1 Save the Music Foundation got involved in 2007?
It was just a fledgling program. There was really no consistency. The district could afford either the instruments or the teachers, and we have to have both, obviously.
Yeah.
So now we have every elementary student playing an instrument, and we have good feeder programs for middle and high school, and it's absolutely wonderful. And if I could just say that if there's one thing that has been inspiring in my career, it's the passion of VH1 Save the Music. They have helped us so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. Can you tell us what brought VH1 Save the Music Foundation to Roanoke and how the program has grown?
We had a dynamic person, a gentleman named Cyrus Pace, who called them up and told them our problem. At that point, we had a 59% graduation rate. Kids didn't have a lot of hope. There weren't too many choices. And certainly if you were in the arts, if you couldn't afford private, you probably weren't going to go very far. Today our graduation rate is up 83.4% and rising. Wow. And I would credit a great deal of that to VH1 Save the Music.
And so why, you kind of touched on it, why is turning students onto arts and music education so important?
It's their soul.
It's the soul.
It's the soul.
There it is, very simple. It is, it's the soul. So beyond integrating the program into the school day, there are also some serious budget issues to deal with. How did the VH1 Save the Music Foundation enable you and the board to address that issue?
Well, because we had the instruments from VH1 Save the Music, the board was committed to providing the staff. And I think today that it's so embedded in the district and the community that we go, and it's part of our budget, and it would probably be one of the last things cut from the budget.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So, Jeff, you're an accomplished musician who grew up in the Roanoke area. What motivated you to return to Roanoke and lead the Patrick Henry Orchestra program?
I grew up.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I grew up in Roanoke, Virginia. And it's a beautiful area. The people are beautiful, and I grew up and I learned how to play the mandolin at an early age, and then I learned how to play clarinet in the band. And I lived in Chicago, and I enjoyed the crazy city life. But my family was in Roanoke, and the people that I grew up with were there, and the students in Roanoke City Public Schools are dynamite to teach, and the support from Dr. Bishop and everyone else, second to none. I've been many places in the country, and they really support the fine arts. And I know that music education, there's nothing more important to me to have the kids to be able to play and start music at an early age.
Yeah. So Ryan, I was lucky enough to have a great music teacher. Mr. Rick Reagan was the man. He energized and inspired our school band, was supportive of my music. I'm actually still friends with him today. Who introduced you to the violin, and how did it happen?
Mr. Midkiff actually introduced me, and it all started when I was in my classroom, and he came through the door and was demonstrating all the instruments.
Yeah.
And he played the violin, which actually caught my attention to where I wanted to learn this instrument. I had to play it.
You got it. Had to play it. So, Dr. Bishop, your school district is a diverse and urban setting where more than 75% of the students receive free or reduced cost lunch. Add in that the district has more than 600 homeless students. With such daunting challenges, why is the music program such a priority?
Well, it helps our students think. I will tell you that there's an absolute correlation to playing an instrument in mathematics. And all of that situation, we have high mathematics scores. And I think it's because our students learn all kinds of mathematics skills, but music is critically important because it gives them a world outside of their own. You understand, if you play music, you understand things that people who don't couldn't possibly understand.
Yeah, totally. There's some quote, I forget what it is, that music shifts around the invisible pieces inside yourself.
It does.
It totally does. Okay, so Jeff, it appears there's a well-developed program shining in Roanoke, clearly. What's so important about the orchestra trip to a competition in Chicago?
We had a great time.
You had a good time?
For starters, I mean, the kids had a wonderful time. It enabled them to go on a trip to Chicago, which they were able to play at Orchestra Hall. And they did difficult music. They did it well. They received the highest score there. And the camaraderie and the feeling of that, I think, really made an impact on everybody there.
Awesome. So, last question. Dr. Bishop, how do you respond to skeptics who question the relationship between funding music programs, academic performance, and graduation rates?
Quite simply, it's all about data. I can prove that music...
You can prove it.
I can prove that music makes a difference. It makes a difference in your graduation rate and your mathematics scores. And you said it wonderfully when you said it gave you a whole new team.
It did. It really did.
And it teaches you how to get along and collaborate and be part of that group.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. That is just fantastic. VH1 Save the Music Foundation did save the music, and Roanoke City Schools is playing that music loud and often. Thank you all for traveling up to join us. I really appreciate it. I love talking about music. What I love even more is hearing the music. So Lauren Wanko is outside with another VH1 Save the Music Foundation story and the leader of the Trenton Public Schools Marching Band.
Thanks, Andy. Ted Plunkett is with us today, band leader. Thanks for joining us on our stage here.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
So your band was a recipient of the VH1 Save the Music Foundation grant program.
That's right, that's right. Matter of fact, they adopted us a couple of years ago, and it's been a roller coaster ride, almost like a fairy tale ever since they took us under their wing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that fairy tale, because your band has been around for years, but then at one point, essentially disappeared.
We did lose our program, and we lost our feeder program, and that's where VH1 stepped in, sprinkled some magic, adopted us, gave us a lot of instruments to put back in the middle schools, and here we are. They put it in middle school teachers, we were able to get the instruments, and now a feeder program is in place, and then we merged the middle school and the high school to create a district-wide marching band.
And I think that's something that's really interesting, and folks don't really think about when they think marching band, they think one school. What's it like to have middle school and high school?
Well, it's exciting. Whoa,
wait a minute, what's it like? Here they are!
Well, we're going to find out how exciting it is.
How many students in this band?
Well, we have a lot more, but we only can bring a few of them, and they're here to represent.
But you think we have 45?
Yes, we have about 45 students here today.
How long have they been practicing this?
We have been practicing long enough as we would like to, but they're here, and they want to make their voices known.
They're really in sync! It's hard to get a word in edgewise. How are they doing?
I think they're doing a good time. They're doing what they do best.
Yeah! Hi! Oh, they look great! What do we have back here? Nice! And they've been practicing for quite some time on it. Bravo! Proper school, too!
Well, this is what we do. We have a great time. The crowd loves us. We like showing up and showing out.
They're showing off. They've got some moves back there.
Well, the kids love moving in. They love doing what they do.
Speaking of American Graduate Champions, Lauren is outside for some additional musical notes from our host turned guest and new champion, Andy Grammer.
I think I'm starstruck, Andy, between you and Elmo. This day doesn't get any better for me.
Elmo beat me.
I don't
He's got
think
me.
so.
No, he does
Thanks
with
for
charm.
swinging by.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to talk a little bit, now that you're a guest and not a host, about why you decided to become a celebrity ambassador for the VH1 Save the Music Foundation.
I'm just really passionate about music. I think it's super important that we invest in our kids to make sure the music that when they get older is fantastic. And in anything that you want to be better, you have to invest in the kids below you.
Now, we heard all about your involvement in high school yourself and in school and playing instruments as a kid.
Totally.
What do you think it did for your peers to be able to have that outlet, have music?
I just think that band and music programs were the part of the day that you get beyond learning or being kind of like worksheets and like the standard rigmarole of like, you know, middle school or high school or whatever. It was like, you get into band, you're like, whoa, this is amazing.
It's a creative outlet.
This is like, my heart is freaking out right now, and I'm in a different place, and I'm really excited and inspired to be here, as opposed to, unfortunately, there's a little bit of that culture in our school system that's like, another science test or another whatever. And I remember being in band and being like, this is unbelievable. George Gershwin's the man.
Well, this is an unbelievable experience for me too. So thank you so much, Andy, for swinging by. And for some of you around the country, you're about to see my special segment on the Special Olympics. It's all happening right here on American Graduate Day.
Hi, I'm Ingrid Michaelson, and I'm thrilled to be a part of American Graduate Day. I was so shy as a kid, and I started taking a children's theater class and doing choir, and my mom said I was a different kid. All of a sudden I was outgoing, I was confident. That confidence has never gone away. It's just kind of grown and continued on through my adulthood. So VH1 Save the Music is such a great foundation because they're bringing music back to the kids who desperately need it. I think that music helped me shape who I am today. You know, it gives you confidence, it gives you joy, it gives you a way to connect to people when maybe you don't know how else to connect to them. To rob children of that is just criminal. And so I think that's why VH1 and Save the Music is so important, that they're helping kids to keep this very important thing in their life.